Hey guys, this is Ashutosh presenting you for your assignment 12. So these are the questions of assignment 12. So the first question is explain OWASP top 10 security risk with example. So OWASP stands for Open Web uh, Application Security Project. Yes. So these are this is the full form of OWASP. So what are the latest means 2021 security risks that OWASP has provided? The first one is broken access control. So what is the meaning of this is when a user is trying to perform some task which he should not perform, then this is the case, basically the case of broken access control. So for example, if a bank employee is able to access the things which the manager should be only able to access, then this comes under broken access control. The second one is cryptographic features, cryptographic fault. So in this, what happens is basically before we were used to use like DES, that is data encryption standard, but now due to the security reasons, we have increased it to advanced encryption standard. Because in data encryption standard, there was a very small key which was means easy to break. So later on, as with the advancement, we have now switched to AES, that is Advanced Encryption Standard. So the third one is injection. So what injection means is basically the third party or the threat is provided by some external user. What he does is he changes the meaning of the command. So what happens is, for example, like in SQL injection, if the fraud can send 101 or 1 equals to 1 instead of just 101. So this can be also a threat, and this is called as injection. So the fourth one is insecure design. So what happens in insecure design is basically this is the fault of designing of the application. Means there are the lack of security configuration and implementation. So this can be a bug in this can be one of the security risks in insecure design. So the fourth one is security misconfiguration. So what happens in security misconfiguration is like we are not providing with the proper security, like HTTP we are using instead of HTTPS. Like if we use HTTPS, it is more secure than HTTP. Like this also we are using open cloud storage, and these things are basically considered in security misconfiguration. After that is vulnerable components, like the software packages, external software packages which we require for our maybe our project or our application. So or maybe outdated components, like we are using the older versions of the application even though the new versions are in the market. So this can be a risk to the application. So the next one is identification failures. So what here happens is the software is not able to identify the correct user, even though the wrong user is able to access the application. So this can be one of the risk of in uh, application management. So the next one is software and data integrity risk. So in this, what happens is we for in some applications or some websites, what happens is we need some external modules or external things like we are fetching some data from the websites which from whom we don't trust. So this can be a security breach. And the last one is server side request forgery. So this can be a risk, because what happens is the attacker is directly attacking our third party applications. Means if we are connecting to some other application, the attacker is not directly attacking us or our website. It is through some other website, through the third party app which we are using. It is trying to come in, and in this way it is attacking. So these are some of the OWASP risk security risks of 2021. So the next question is, what is an endpoint and what are the different types of API requests? Explain with the help of an example. So endpoint is nothing but basically if we are trying to connect two applications or two computers or two servers, then we basically need an API. So API, what API does is it helps in connecting one computer with the another or one application with another. So what is an endpoint in API? So endpoint is basically a point which is one point of API which is connected to a software. So this is only called as the endpoint. So what are the different types of API requests? So different types of API requests are like post, like post. What is the meaning of post? Put, get, delete, uh, patch. So these are some of the API requests. So let's see one by one what are their uses. So the first one is put. So post is basically used to create the data, and the second one is put. Put is basically used to update the existing data. The third one is patch. Patch is basically used to partially update or partially edit the existing data. The fourth one is get. Get is used to basically fetch the data from the database or from any application. And the last one is delete command. Delete command is basically used to delete any kind of data that is present. So this is all about question number 2. So the third question is, explain what are the different samplers and listeners in load testing. Explain with the help of an example. So samplers and listeners. So what basically sampler is? Sampler, the work of sampler is basically to send requests or basically in JMeter. So basically we can consider that a sampler itself is a request. So sampler is nothing but we can just understand that sampler is a request which is being sent to the server. So the example of samplers can be HTTP request or JDBC request or Java request. So this can be the example of samplers and listeners. So listeners are basically which means listeners are basically part of test scenario which is used to collect or show the results of the request received and what are their results in the form of graph or in the form of chart, and it can be of these types only, and the examples of listeners can be uh, aggregate chart or documents in the form of documents or in the form of charts, in the form of pie charts. So these are this is all about my assignment 12. Thank you everyone.